There's something about YouTubers who have started themselves with something quite goofy and then do really sad shit.
Like you're talking about
maybe
Georgie?
it's these guys and Joe. I'm talking about Georgie. Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Two Asian Blokes podcast. A podcast where we talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, films, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time, really. My name is Dan with a H. With me, as always, my co-host Darby.
You're feeling the midnight, the late night vibes.
Yeah,
We've all been up for a little while.
I haven't done a late recording like this in a while.
Well, it's only, it's like 10 p.m. at the moment?
That's late for us, Darby.
Yeah, it is pretty late.
I'm normally in bed by now.
Oh, no, I'm up for usually another couple of hours.
Yeah.
This is where I usually start watching something. I've been having a sudden urge to watch prison dramas. Like, I watched The Shawshank Redemption last night.
Oh, yeah. Good movie.
I was like, oh, fucking sick movie. And after this recording, I'm going to go watch The Green Mile.
Also a good movie.
Yeah. Two highly acclaimed prison dramas, both written by Stephen King and directed by Frank Darabont. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know they had the same director.
Yeah. Like, Frank Darabont is a weird director. Not in a sense that he does weird things, but he hasn't done many things. He's known for, obviously, Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, and then The Mist. And then that's the last thing that he did.
Does he exclusively do Stephen King adaptations then?
I think he's done some other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got I can't really discern his style. It's just Stephen King short stories that he does.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it.
Maybe just him and Stephen King have a good working relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does Stephen King even like those adaptations? Because he doesn't like that many of them.
Nah, he says Shawshank Redemption is one of his favorites. I think I saw it in a passing article.
Yeah, all right.
Whether he really likes it or not, I don't know. Or if he's just following the crowd.
I don't think I've read the story, so I don't know how faithful it is.
I haven't read it.
Green Mile is pretty faithful from memory.
Oh, yeah. I think I was watching a recap review comparing Shawshank Redemption and the short story one, and it's pretty much the same. I think I have a feeling the movie is better than the short story.
Sounds like
just a hunch. Yeah. But yeah, no.
But sometimes that happens.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not here to talk about Stephen King adaptations, but we are here to talk about spooky stuff tonight.
Yeah, we are.
So we're going to be talking about the recent trailer for Silent Hill F. Going to do a mini review for Sumala, an Indonesian horror film that was on Netflix. Is on Netflix still.
At this point, yeah.
And we're going to do the main review for this episode, which is Australian film Bring Her Back. Also a horror movie.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we're recording at the spooky hour.
Yes.
Not because we were busy doing stuff during the day, but we purposely chose this time of night.
Yeah. Ooh. The time where I have the least amount of brain power.
Well, that's where the creativity comes out. You're just a lot looser, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where all my riffing in the intro was coming in, Darby. It wasn't me just misspeaking. It was a funny riff.
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's talk about Silent Hill F. You just sent me this trailer today. It just came out today, actually, at time of recording.
Yeah.
So we did talk about a teaser previously, but this is the first full trailer that we've seen. Looks good. I love it.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it has gotten through the classifications because you can actually pre-order it now. I am still skeptical on pre-ordering it. I want to, but...
You're not sold by this trailer?
No, it's more like if I buy it now and then I realize that we're getting a censored version, then I'm going to pirate it. It's just, this is without a question. I'm going to pirate it if Australia gets a censored version. But if we get the full uncut version, I will give money to Konami, despite video game prices going up over the years and Nintendo setting a bad precedent. I can't combat that except through piracy.
There's nothing you can do, Tavi.
I want to support Silent Hill games.
Even if you pirate it, they might have to update it, Tavi. And then what are you going to do?
You just pirate it again with the latest update. So it's a long...
What if you want alternate costumes for Hinako, is that the girl's name?
You know the thing is about about pirating games. You know when games have all the DLC shit. When you pirate it, you just get everything because the crackers have already unlocked it all for you.
Okay, because it's in the code. It's just
it's in the code.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
they probably will they probably buy it themselves, and then I'm not sure how they do it, but it's honestly. It's kind of the argument for piracy because then you can get there's some games that have a fucking ridiculous amount of DLC where it costs like $400 just to get everything. So you just get the
we were talking about this off air earlier.
Yeah,
but it's
like single player games as well. So I get it in multiplayer because you want to like flaunt your shit, but I mean, no, you're not flaunting your shit when you're playing single player games.
I mean, it depends on the game. I feel like I think like open world games can kind of get away with stuff like that because it's kind of all about like getting new armors and new shit for your base and stuff like that. But yeah, something like Silent Hill, I don't think
it's not necessary.
Yeah, you wouldn't be spending money on an alternate costume for her. Unless you can buy like a bazooka for her or something. I don't know, that might be worth it.
I think usually when games, especially Japanese-made games, have a young female protagonist, there's always a slutty DLC option that they sell, and people buy it.
Yeah.
So that's probably what's going to be there. It's probably a little bit wrong because the character is a high school girl.
I love how the characters in this game are school kids. I don't know, there's something about Japanese school kids. It's really enjoyable to see them lose their shit.
Yeah, it is something cool.
You know, like this new trailer features a couple of Hinako's mates in it. There's a girl and there's a boy. And I just know that boy is going to cop it at some point. He's going to cop it so hard, Tabi. Yeah, he's fucked, mate. You can just tell from the trailer. And even when they like turn on each other, like...
Yeah.
That's kind of what makes movies like Battle Royale work, is just there's something about Japanese teenagers going off at each other that's really fun to watch.
Well, I have a feeling that the Japanese high school teenage setting is just done a lot in Japanese media. So they really know how to write this kind of characters.
Yeah.
And it is a lot of Japanese people probably trying to relive their youth. So they're a lot more sincere about it.
I wonder how accurate that portrayal is, though, of Japanese high school kids. Because the ones that I met, pretty nice. The ones that we used to teach in Japan.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you know,
I guess you put them in like a difficult situation, and then you see what happens.
Just stab you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I like the intro to the trailer where just trying to remember now. I think one of Hinako's friends is talking to her, and then she just calls her like a traitor.
Yeah.
And it's just very like
sinister.
off-putting.
Yeah.
Even the localizing, the subtitling of it is quite eerie as well. It's very Silent Hill. Like the way they talk to each other doesn't seem normal, even within its subtitling.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that whether this was intentional or not by the localizer, you're still getting that odd Silent Hill off-kilter weirdness. And the other things I like is, the creature designs, they look very cool.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see a lot of the stuff.
Very off-putting.
There's a lot of, crawling Onryu ghosts, but then you club them with what looks like a pipe, a metal pipe at some point.
Yeah, it looks like that's the main weapon of the game.
Yeah.
The only one that's featured in the trailer.
I read that this one is going to be slightly more combat focused.
Okay.
Rather than puzzle focused, maybe, compared to Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, it looks like from the trailer that she's kind of fighting that one monster for a while. So maybe it's like kind of more one-on-one stuff going on. Because you know how in our Silent Hill 2 Let's Plays, which you can watch on our YouTube channel, you're fighting like a lot of monsters, and you
at once.
Yeah. So I think this one, maybe there's one monster that's you kind of have to fight over and over again, or like.
Well, I hope it's like more or less the typical survival horror where if there is a one-on-one situation, you can fight them. It just takes a bit of time and skill. But if you are getting overwhelmed, then the only choice is to run.
Yeah.
I like how the trailers have kept the native language, because the big move is to obviously dub the game, especially some of the newer Yakuza games. Yeah, they started localizing it and dubbing it.
Yeah.
But keeping it Japanese somehow just adds more to the eeriness. I know that there's probably going to be an English option, which it is going to hurt the game, I reckon.
Well, the setting is very Japanese.
Yeah.
So
the thing about dubbing in video games is sometimes I kind of understand it. I think I play a couple of games where I've kept the local language on, but then you're fighting at the same time, but then the characters are talking, but then their icons are popping up on the left, and I can't read and fight at the same time, especially if I'm trying to parry or dodge shit.
Yeah. You're talking about Monster Hunter, right? I switched it to English pretty quickly.
Just some RPGs that I played. I think I was playing Persona.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and they're just like talking about stuff, and it's just like, but you got to keep it in Japanese. Yeah.
I mean, generally, like voice acting is pretty good in video games these days, anyway. So. But I guess like
it's getting pretty good.
The Silent Hill cadence is kind of hard to get right.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I wonder if the cadence of Japanese in the game is weird as well.
Yeah,
like the demeanor of the characters.
I'm assuming the dialogue is going to be similar to Higurashi, since the guy that wrote this as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to teenagers losing their shit.
Yeah,
and
betraying each other,
murdering each other.
Yeah, man, that guy's gonna cop it so bad. I just can feel it. He's got that kind of face, Tommy.
Yeah.
But it looks good. Looks really good.
Yeah. I'm excited. I might pre-order it while it's. It's pretty expensive. It's like $116 for the standard version, and then you got your fucking deluxe bullshit, whatever. As long as I will pre-order it, as long as there's a guarantee that we're not going to get a censored version.
Okay.
So
So once it's been given the all clear, you'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll buy it. Yeah.
Yep. Games are pretty expensive these days, but what can you do, Tavi? What can you do? Nothing.
Yeah.
But you know what's not expensive is a Netflix subscription where you can watch movies like Sumala.
It's arguable. I don't think that segue quite worked.
It's fine.
Are they going to increase the price? Like at some
No,
point?
I got an offer to go switch to an ad version for cheaper.
Yeah. Nah, fuck that.
It's like 895 yen a month. That sounded pretty cheap to me.
What, are you paying in yen? What?
Because we started our account in Japan, so I guess it's just been in yen this whole time. I don't know.
Wait, how much are you paying a month?
At the moment, it's like 1,200 yen, but the discounted rate would have been 895 yen if I'm willing to put up with ads.
1,200 yen? Is that with like 4K and all that?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's cheap.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm getting
thought.
fucking ripped off. It's like $27.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like 20 plus bucks, but my wife is adamant that it's not that much money. So I don't know.
That's bullshit.
I know what to tell you.
No wonder you got your cheap Netflix. Damn it. It's bullshit.
So as far as I'm concerned, Tommy, that segue totally worked.
Okay. Depending on the currency that you're fucking paying. It's I just gotta fucking I just gotta pirate shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, man.
That's the cheapest. Just stealing stuff.
Cheapest way. Just steal it.
All right, Sumala. So you watched this a while ago, so I might have to refresh you on what it is.
Yeah.
But it is an Indonesian horror film that came out last year, 2024, directed by Rizal Mantovani. It starts off in kind of modern day, and then like kids start getting killed, and then the guy's like, let me tell you a story about Sumala. And he flashes back to Sumala's origin story. I was really confused by this because I thought it was going to cut back to the present day again at some point, but it doesn't until the end.
It doesn't.
Yeah, we're just going to do full spoilers for this movie. So if you haven't seen it yet and you want to, maybe skip ahead. I mean, it's pretty basic. It's just
it's kind of like Indonesian folklore horror.
Yeah.
I wonder if this. I think Sumala is a popular folk legend, like horror folk tale.
Yeah,
I think.
the credits say that people still believe in her to this day. So Yeah, I mean, essentially, it's one of those boogeyman stories that they tell the kids to keep them at home after dark. Yeah.
Yeah, I initially wanted to watch this movie in the cinema because I think I was bored one night and I was just looking through what was showing. I was like, what is this Sumala movie with its like high impact gore there? So I was like, okay. But I didn't end up going to watch it. But then I was pleasantly surprised that it was on Netflix. And my expectations weren't really very high.
Nah.
But I wanted to watch something, I don't know, something that was a bit of like dumb fun, a little bit violent. Yeah. And it's pretty violent movie.
I like these kinds of Asian folklore things. I mean, there's a lot of potential for this kind of movie to be bad. So I can understand why your expectations were tempered. Because we had watched Maya like not that long ago as well. And that was not a great movie.
No, it wasn't.
Had a similar vibe, and the start of this movie is pretty similar to Maya as well. Pretty hokey, I guess you'd call it. Pretty B movie, but
it's got a bigger production value than Maya.
It looks better. And there's actually some kills in it, which is good. Like the gore in this movie is pretty good, I will say.
There's a quote that Alfred Hitchcock says, like, I think he was talking with Francois Truffaut, and he said, something like killing children is kind of like an abuse of power, of like the cinematic morale. And it's just like, you shouldn't do it, and he'll never do it again.
Yeah.
But Sumala is like, what? And
fuck that.
I think the
Kill
only
all the kids.
fatality is just kids. And I think that's the thing that makes this movie a little bit different from a lot of other horror movies that I've seen.
They don't give a fuck.
Like you sort of get a taste for it in It Part 1.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like, so much child death in this movie.
So essentially,
it's really funny.
Like Sumala's origin story is that there's a guy that's going to lose all his land unless he can produce an heir, but his wife hasn't been able to have a baby. So the wife makes a pact with the devil and does some black magic and gives birth to twins. But one of the twins is the devil's daughter and is evil. But the deal is that like as long as they raise them both until they're, is it 10? Something like that. Then the evil one will go away on her own. But instead of doing that, the dad kills the evil one at childbirth. He stabs a newborn baby with a curved knife. So that's the kind of movie this is. And you see it. You see him stab the baby. They don't give a fuck in this movie. So
it's a pretty ballsy movie to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a little bit too mean, if I'm going to be honest. I can see why people didn't really like this film. And then like basically Sumala's twin Kumala, she gets bullied by all the village kids because she's
basically has a disability.
So she gets bullied by the other kids. So and she gets bullied by her mum and dad as well. She gets locked in the barn for bad behavior and tied up and shit. So it's real abusive stuff.
So some of this stuff is pretty mean. It's even though it's done in that sort of B movie, it's a sort of slightly camp folklore manner. I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but it's usually light in tone.
It's almost over the top, but I don't think it's over the top enough to make it comfortable to watch still.
They're pretty hard on her. And I'm like, damn, man, it's just it can get a little bit tricky to watch. And then when the kids are bullying her with the way, Asians bully, like no one does bullying like Asians do.
I think the kids bullying is fine. I think they go over the top enough. I think it's more the adult stuff, like the stuff that the adults do to her that is not, it's not over the top enough to make it okay. Like it's too real, I think. Because they kind of like, I don't know, they tie her up, they lock her up, they are more embarrassed by her behavior than actually trying to help her. Which is a bit too real. But anyway, she gets bullied by all these people. So at night, Sumala, the evil twin, takes over her body and starts killing the kids. And the kids only at first. She kills a lot of kids with a curved knife.
Does she kill like maybe 2 adults? Like towards the end?
Towards the end of the film, she starts killing adults. Yeah.
these sequences were really fun. Like my memory of these scenes, and I think I've mentioned this movie in one of our episodes. I'm not sure, but I think I may have said that there's somewhat of a choreography.
Yeah,
to a lot
I think
of the
you mentioned it in the
scenes
context of action horror. Yeah.
And it's quite fun because those scenes, they're not really very scary. They're spooky, but then she starts doing what you call the Black Widow leg scissors takedown.
Yeah, she does a Black Widow takedown on a kid.
And then she bursts his heart through his chest or something.
Yeah.
And I think it feels like the kids are having a bit of fun, like almost like the movie that we're going to talk about, like a Raka Raka sketch.
Yeah.
It looks quite funny. It's a bit over the top.
Yeah, because she's just using a knife, right? And it's not like...
Oh, it's a knife? Oh, okay.
Well, she's got a knife, but she does like punch through people as well, I think. But she's slitting a lot of throats in kind of like... Not in like a horror way, but more in an action way, I guess.
Yeah. It's like a silat
Yeah,
way.
like a silat, like multiple slashes across the body. Stabs to the eye, that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of these scenes were quite fun, and there's obviously like there's like this main bully kid where he always like pumps his chest when he's celebrating like bullying her, and I found it like he's acting quite. I feel like we're having the wrong reaction to these scenes because you're supposed to feel pretty bad, but I enjoy. Again, we just said about the campiness of the over the topness, which makes it quite fun to watch. It's almost I don't know.
I think this is what was missing from Maya is just having a bit of fun with the kills. I think maybe Maya was taking itself a bit too seriously, whereas I don't feel that same way for this movie. So I do feel like it is self-aware, like when they're doing these scenes. And it's probably more fun to choreograph as well than just like a Jason Voorhees style execution, you know?
Yeah. And kids have so much energy that they're willing to probably do a lot of that stuff as well.
Yeah. And you don't have to worry about their safety because Indonesian filmmaking, so it's fine.
I don't know how the Indonesian film rating systems works, but it's a lot of these kids who star in these very brutal horror movies, and even the one that we're going to talk about, they can't watch it when it's released.
It's so wild, yeah. Like they can be in it, but they can't watch it. And I think it's fair because the actress in this movie, the one that plays Sumala, I want to say Michaela Rose Hilly. If that's wrong, apologies. But she does a really good job at playing Kumala and Sumala, I assume.
Yeah, I think she does actually. Yeah, I think she might be like the better actor in the movie.
Yeah, because she has to play two roles really, and both of them are not that easy either. And
so she's playing the evil one. It's not.
I'm not sure if she's playing the evil one when it's got the makeup on it, and when there's two of them on screen. But she's doing the switching. When she's like, especially towards the end, like just before she kills her mum, where the mum's like, "Can I talk to Kumala one more time?" So she switches to Kumala, but then she switches back to Sumala. Even that level of acting is really good. But at the same time, like I can't imagine being that young and having to do that, and also like killing people to that extent on screen. Like it's pretty wild, the stuff that she does in the movie. And I guess the only kind of barrier to like, I guess, safeguard her mental health is that it seems like a lot of the gore is CGI. So,
well, I feel like there is a sense of empowerment when you are performing these scenes, because everyone has
a Sumala in them.
everyone has Sumala in them. And you'd be surprised that there's a lot of girls who really like to do these like tough roles and be tough. It's like I remember when I was watching the behind the scenes for Baby Assassins 3.
Yeah.
And it was Atsuko Maeda, and she's just playing around with guns and stuff.
Yeah. But this is different.
This is fucking cool. It's just like it's that kind of satisfaction of violence, which I think makes people excited.
Yeah.
Because it's rooted in all of us.
Sure.
Most people will reject it, but if you get a chance to kind of let that release, which I think maybe a lot of these kids probably were feeling. I can't speak for sure. I haven't
that's
seen
why
any behind
kids
the
love
scenes of
violent
this.
video games, right? Is to get that expression out, I guess. But I think, I don't know, I just find roles where you have to get possessed, they seem really difficult to pull off. Like really stressful for some reason. I don't know. It's just something about the acting that's involved in that kind of role.
Yeah, I mean, just ask fucking Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
Or anyone. Yeah, it's being possessed is exhausting.
Even in that movie, Holy Night, Demon Hunters that we reviewed last week, seems hard. Is what I would say.
Yeah.
And then having to watch it
yeah.
afterwards, or like being able to watch it afterwards, I feel like would be really hard as well. So I don't know.
We can probably elaborate on this because I feel like this topic is going to come up again when we talk about bringing it back.
True. Yeah. That's why we're talking about Sumala as well, because they're kind of connected.
Yeah, they're both connected. They're both kids.
In a cosmetic sense,
yeah.
But I don't know. For what it was, I really enjoyed Sumala. I think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's definitely, it's not a completely turn your brain off kind of film because there are some pretty strong themes in this movie. But I really like the ghostly folklore feel that this movie has. I enjoyed I guess I'm going to call them action sequences.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember them, but I just remember feeling that there was a lot of action choreography in some of these fight scenes that I really enjoyed. And I think the story is quite macabre. And it scratches that itch. I don't know what reasoning anyone would go if you're going to do some kind of ritual and some scraggly ass witch granny's got all these hanging bones and stuff. It's like,
it's so stupid. It's very contrived. Like, and then like the wife, the witch explains all the rules to the wife as well, but she doesn't tell her husband. So he doesn't know that they have to raise the two daughters until they're 10. So,
she didn't want to tell him that she went to a demon lady because she was embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right. So the husband is just, but like you can't just stab.
Don't stab a baby. Don't stab a. As far as he knows, it's just a deformed baby as well, and he just stabs it. Like, I think it's because it's kind of like a period piece as well. I guess so. They're a bit.
I can't wait for YouTube to push this video up the algorithm. We're talking about stabbing babies. Definitely going to be the top trending for sure.
This is all staying in.
Killing kids, stabbing babies, slitting kids' throats in choreographed action sequences.
Get it? Hashtagging.
We're fucked. Yeah.
All right.
But I don't have that much more to say. It's fun movie.
Fun movie. Yeah, and it's on Netflix. So if you like this kind of movie, watch it.
Yeah. Watch it with your kids. It's like, see, if you don't eat your fucking broccoli, I'm gonna do this to you.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to a lighter movie then.
Oh yeah, a significantly lighter film.
Bring her back. So we will talk non-spoilers first and then do a spoiler section for this film because it is quite spoilery and it is quite
it is very
recent.
spoilery.
But for the non-spoiler section we might be talking about stuff that is in the trailer. So if you want to go in blind, maybe go watch it before listening to this because I would recommend this film. It's quite good, quite high quality.
I really enjoyed this movie. I think I like this movie more than their previous debut, Talk to Me, which we talked about as well.
Yep. So from directors Danny and Michael Philippou.
Yeah, the Raka,
otherwise known as Raka on YouTube.
There's something about YouTubers who have started themselves with something quite goofy and then do really sad shit.
Like talking about
maybe
Georgie.
it's these guys and Joe talking about Georgie. Really like high quality sad shit.
Yeah.
I did not expect this type of movie to come from those guys. I mean, they'd probably admit themselves, they're very high energy guys. They have the energy of a millennial ADHD, you know? They're just bouncy all over the place. But
if you haven't checked out their YouTube videos, they're a lot of fun. I don't know if they're still up.
Oh, they're really fun.
But
YouTube hates because it's all like special effects and violence.
It's very violent.
So I have a feeling that they don't do it anymore.
They were really silly as well. They did like a Mortal Kombat, but in suburban Australia.
Well, I think they were really popular with the psycho Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
They had a lot of their neighborhood kids come join their sketches where it was a really funny one where they were doing, this is one of their least violent ones, but I think they were doing wrestling or something. They just keep doing all these wrestling moves on this like kid. It was really funny.
So that's their origin. But yeah, now they're at the point where they're making these horror films that are very deep, thematically,
very deep.
And pretty grim as well. Especially this movie. Like Talk to Me was also pretty violent, pretty grim, because it is dealing with loss and death and stuff. But it had like a light tone at points, especially during like party scenes or like even the way the kids interact with each other. It can be quite light at times. Bring Her Back is a lot more serious, I would say.
Yeah. Before we continue, do you want to give a little quick synopsis of the story?
This is essentially in the trailer. Trailer pretty much sets up the movie. Like I wasn't surprised by anything I saw in this movie when I watched it. Yeah, essentially it is about these two kids, two teenagers, brother and sister, or stepbrother and stepsister. After a death in their family, they go live with a foster parent played by Sally Hawkins. But Sally has a dark secret. Sally is also suffering from the loss of a loved one. And essentially she wants to bring her deceased daughter back from the dead by using some kind of satanic ritual that involves the kids in some way.
What I really like about Talk to Me and this movie, and just the choice to make these films set in Australia and be really authentically Australian.
Yeah, but not in your face.
It's not in your face. There's nothing that draws attention to the Australianness of this movie. It's quite subtle.
Yeah.
Even at the start where you introduced to Piper, played by Sora Wong. She's bullied by, well, she's not bullied, but she tries to make friends with a couple of girls and she's unsuccessful. And even the casting of those girls, there's this multiculturalism in that casting itself that feels very authentic. It feels like the Australia that we grew up in.
Yeah.
But like a lot of it is within the music choice and with its environments as well. Like there's no scene where they have to be like, oh, look at my fucking Vegemite sandwich with my AFL football.
Yeah, they're not drinking any Foster's beers in this.
Oh, look at my Foster's. But it's just like, I mean, this is stepping up back a bit where they're kind of, I think Sally Hawkins, who plays a stepmother,
Laura,
Laura, the foster parent, and she asks, what does Andy like to do? And he's like, I like to get smashed. Yeah. And that is just a very Australian answer.
It's nothing more Australian than underage drinking.
Than getting smashed. Yeah. But again, speaking about Sally Hawkins and even Sora Wong, I think is the actress's name. Great performances all around from everyone in this movie. Especially Jonah Wren Phillips, who I believe is his first movie, he's playing a kid just known as Oliver. Yeah. And he does a lot of pretty intense stuff in this movie. Yeah. And it's like, damn, man. And even he looks Australian as well. Yeah. The way this kid is like, that's an Australian kid.
Yeah, he's a kid you'd see at the skate park for sure.
Yeah. I can't describe it, but it's like, you look at him, it's like, oh, he's Australian.
Yeah.
There's just something about him that is very Australian. But Sally Hawkins and what's his name? Billy Barnett, they're not Australian.
Yeah. But they're nailing the accent, which not that easy to do because it is a very subtle Australian accent. Like it's not over the top at all. But I mean, like there's a fair bit of body horror in this film and it's pretty much all given to Oliver, or the character of Oliver. So yeah, Jonah does a really good job with all of that stuff. It makes it suitably uncomfortable to watch at times. The relationship between Piper and Andy feels real genuine.
Yeah, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
Which
they have their little like quirks and connections with each other. Like they have a code word where they say grapefruit to each other, and that's kind of like their code word to make sure that the other is telling them the truth, I guess. And it's not like overly explained or anything. It's just something that they do. So it feels really authentic. It feels like that relationship is, it's real. And Sally Hawkins is just smashing it as just being a weirdo, just being a weird Australian lady.
Her introduction is so spot on because she is very friendly, but overdoes it and just does these very subtle little things to demonstrate that she doesn't want Andy there.
Yeah.
Like when she takes a selfie of the three of them and he's been clearly blocked.
Or she misremembers his name, kind of disregarding him a bit.
Yeah. And who the fuck is into taxidermy? If you're into taxidermy,
just run.
Like she does a she does a little joke with Piper. She's like, "Oh, there's someone I want you to meet," and she does like a rough, and she kind of scares her. And it's just like, this woman.
That's a red flag. Yeah, that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
Yeah. And it's funny because obviously Sally Hawkins is Paddington's mother or stepmother in the Paddington movies. So, they changed the actress in the third one. So maybe the original Paddington's mother became this character. So she's lost the plot.
She's trying to bring Paddington back from the dead.
She's trying to bring Paddington. What a crossover that would be, huh? Bring Paddington back. Yeah.
But no, she's doing a really good job. And like you said, I think the settings feel really like authentic as well, because most of it is set at Laura's house and it's not quite suburban. It's kind of like outer suburbs, I guess.
It's like
the house in Relic, if we remember that movie.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you were in Melbourne, you'd probably be in like Warrandyte or something like that.
Warrnambool?
Yeah. I've been to so many of these houses that are sort of nestled away in like a forest kind of area.
Yeah, they're kind of nice.
Yeah. They're so nice.
Yeah.
I have a mate. I mean, I think I talked about Dylan in the last episode who did the score for Pure Scum. His joint is somewhere kind of nestled in that kind of area. And it's just such a nice creative space. And it's just like, damn, like I wish it's kind of the house that you don't really want to be in as a kid, but as an adult now, it's just like, this is great.
Yeah, it's in the woods. It's very secluded.
Yeah. I also worry about bushfires as well, so maybe not.
Yeah, it's not ideal when there's a bushfire, but it's raining for a lot of this film, which, it adds a lot to the atmosphere and especially the sound design of the rain, because Piper is visually impaired. So I think they play a lot with sound in this film.
Yeah.
As a means to kind of get across what Piper's experiencing. I mean, even the way that some of it is filmed, it's almost like from Piper's point of view where it's quite...
A lot of it's out of focus.
Yeah. And that kind of adds to like the terror, I guess, in some of the scarier situations because you can't really see what's happening.
Yeah. I really have to commend the atmosphere for this movie. Especially a lot, talking about sound, but a lot on its technical scale. It's just a very well shot movie, especially when you first, like one of the shots that stood out to me was when they first arrive at Sally Hawkins' place, Laura, and then there's this little circle that it like tracks through and it like twists and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was really cool. And the constant rain and thunder, especially in the theater that I was watching it in, had really good speakers. So every time there was thunder or there was a loud thump, like you could feel it in your chair. And I was just like, it was just so immersive.
Yeah.
And I like how a lot of I don't think there is one jump scare in this movie. And it's one of those horror movies that I guess for me, it's not particularly scary, but it is very... It's filled with a lot of a sense of dread, that foreboding sense that something bad is going to happen. And I think they build up that tension quite well.
It's similar to Talk to Me. I think the scares in Talk to Me were fairly similar in vibe.
I think Talk to Me, the pacing is a lot faster than this movie. I think Talk to Me felt like there was more things going on.
Yeah,
you
you're
got a
probably
sense
right.
that more was moving forward.
But I was worried before going into this film that it was going to be
that was
slow
going to be boring.
and boring. Because like before I watched this film, all I heard were reviews saying, "Oh, it's a haunting exploration of grief," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't really want to watch that kind of movie." But I went to watch it, and it's actually quite fast. I think.
I think.
Yeah, because Sally is. I mean, Laura is weird from the get-go. Like, she doesn't waste much time alienating Andy and kind of trying to isolate Piper. So there's not much of a period where she's acting normal and trying to put up a pretense. Like, as soon as they enter her house, she's already, like, doing stuff.
I mean, she, like, tries to look at Andy's phone.
Yeah.
There's some fucking deplorable stuff that, like, not even in the sense of just abuse,
bullying.
but in the sense of like I guess the bedwetting, which maybe we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie is a slower burn than Talk to Me, but I never felt bored with this movie. I think the plot itself is really good. I think there's only one thing that I was a little bit iffy about.
The spoiler?
But that would probably be that's more spoilers kind of thing. But there's a surprising amount of subtle humor in this movie. And I heard the Philippous talk about how they were inspired a lot by Korean cinema.
Okay.
Again, it's the Koreans, man. Yeah. They just get putting humor in very dark situations really well and not feel like it's just a quip.
I can't think of any moments that stuck out to me.
It's the music.
Okay,
I think it's the music.
Are you talking about Shannon Knoll?
I'm talking about Shannon Knoll. I'm talking about Veronica.
It's really good.
About,
very specific era needle drops in this film. And I don't know if non-Australians would get the significance of Shannon Knoll's "What About Me," because I thought it would have been like the older version of "What About Me," but no, it's specifically
the Shannon Knoll version.
Ex-Australian Idol contestant, runner-up Shannon Knoll.
Well, these guys are around the same age as us.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yeah. And I think some of it is, for me, it was the music choices. I regret not watching this with a bigger audience, actually. I watched this pretty much in the morning at around like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was not a busy screening. But I feel like this is a movie where a shared experience actually would have elevated some of the more tense scenes, because there's a lot of sequences where you will squirm in your chair.
Yeah. The horror elements are very effective, I will say. I squirmed a lot in this film and was like...
Yeah. I think in this movie, they toned down some of the character designs in terms of the horror moments, because from my memory of Talk to Me, there's a lot of like ghouls. Not ghouls, but a lot of the spirits that the main character talks to appear quite
grotesque.
Yeah, quite grotesque, but they look a bit more of the like Guillermo del Toro style of monster. Which I don't find as scary as more like mythical or fantastical.
Right.
But in this one, like, I guess there's not too many of them. A lot of it is with Oliver, and a lot of it is with the videotape of the possession tutorial.
But there's also like Andy's hallucinations as well. Of his dad.
And I think those were the weaker ones, because there's probably a bit too much makeup in the sense. But
they love putting a nude wet ghost in their films.
Yeah, they do. Actually, this film's universe is shared with Talk to Me, right? Because the opening sequence is like the fat ghost guy like walking in and touching someone, and I'm pretty sure that scene is in Talk to Me.
Okay.
Right?
I did not pick up on that, but I know that they have been building a lot of lore behind Talk to Me, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is connected in some way.
Yeah, I think it's connected. I think I'm not sure if there's a cult in the first Talk to Me. It's been a while.
Well, I mean, the hand is like it's created because of cult activities.
Okay. So yeah, it must be that. Yeah. So I think there's a universe, which I think it's cool. They get to explore this universe that they built, but made a very different film. And again, I did not expect this much emotional gravitas in the film.
Yeah, I don't think many people were.
Yeah, I heard the same things as you. Like, it's a exploration of grief and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know,
a horror
sure
movie that's also an exploration of grief. Go figure.
That's like the Australian staple. It's just like, Relic, Babadook. I mean, well, this movie gets compared to Hereditary a lot, but I think I like this movie more than Hereditary.
Okay.
But yeah, I was expecting something along more the lines of Another Talk to Me, because I think I heard another mate who did watch this movie and said, oh yeah, he really enjoyed it, but he said it's like skirting along the same lines as Talk to Me. So I'm like, oh, okay, it should be like fine. Like, you know, it's, I'll like the movie, but I'm not sure about I would like watch it again. But this movie really like floored me at points.
It's a lot more serious.
Yeah. There's not much levity in this movie.
No, it's a pretty grim watch. So be prepared if you do go watch it. But I think in that way, it is also more affecting than Talk to Me.
It's more memorable.
Yeah. And I do also like the fact that the Philippou brothers have decided to go this route of like doing their own creative stuff, because they did have the opportunity to do a Street Fighter movie, which kind of makes sense if you look back at their YouTube stuff. It's a pretty good choice. And I'm sure that would have been a project that they would have been well into, but they made the choice to do their own stuff instead. And I think that's a really, really good decision, because they've obviously got a lot in the tank.
Good on them, man. Good. And thanks for like making Australia seem like it's not a daggy place. Because, you know, when you watch an Australian product, sometimes
you can tell instantly that it's Australian.
It somehow just feels cheaper. It just feels inferior. I mean, the best example is, I guess, the failed adaptation of The Australian Office, you know? I mean, I don't dislike those series. I just haven't watched any of The Offices, but you just look at it and you're just like, there's just something off about this.
Yeah. Fucking Peter Hellier rocks up or something. You're like, oh, man.
And then there's also the Auntie Donna sketch that I quite like about Australian television.
Yeah.
I'm the king of Coburg. And it's just like shot on really expensive Aries that have no time for lighting and really cheap lenses. But
I like Auntie Donna a lot.
There's just so much. Even Australians, we have this negative view on our own industry, on our
you
own,
are super critical on Australian media.
yeah. And it's to the point where I've been and met a few friends and I've been to a lot of the indie circuits and stuff. And a lot of young filmmakers will have actors put on American accents, you know, because it's not cringe like Australian accents,
right.
you know. So there's this sort of shame to be Australian in films, but I like how they've really embraced the Australianness of it, just in all aspects of it, and be very subtle about it as well.
Yeah.
Because I think they're doing it without even really knowing it, because this is a pretty personal film. I think I read that a lot of the stuff that happened in this movie is based on sort of personal experiences as well.
There's like a memoriam just before the credits, I think.
Yeah. And these two guys have also managed to do the POC casting and the disabled casting and not make it feel like it's a tick box, like it's a part of the story. And this is in Piper's actress, who actually has like seeing disabilities. I don't think she is as blind as Piper is supposed to be, but I'm not sure what she has, but she's got some sort of like
visual impairment.
Yeah. Which I can relate to, because I sort of have visual impairments as well. So this movie just feels very genuine.
Yeah.
Even it's funny because it feels genuine but unexpected from the Raka Raka. But then again, not really, because you know about like what's that fucking Japanese Osamu Daitai and the fucking
Sure.
No Longer Human, where you try to be a clown, but you're really hiding a lot of grief. So maybe it makes more sense that this movie is just filled with sadness as well.
Yeah, but I agree. I think this is kind of how we have always wanted Australian media to represent Australia.
The fact that it's Australian and people don't have to talk about it being Australian is really cool.
Yep.
You know, it's just like, it's a film. It's not an Australian film.
Yeah.
I mean, in its technical sense, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Australian
In its music
but
choices.
It's a film. Music choices.
Shannon
The
Noll.
Veronicas, man. Yeah.
That's a
Shannon
swing.
Noll. That was really funny. I laughed a lot when that's.
Yeah, but even that choice, it makes a lot of sense in the context of the scene. You know, that is like the quintessential dad song of that era, you know?
Yeah.
So it still doesn't feel forced at all. And it's just niche enough. I hope an American watched that and they're like, who sings this song? And then they learned all about the history of Australian Idol Season 1, where Guy Sebastian took it from Shannon Noll.
Guy Sebastian, yeah.
Do you have anything more to say, or should we do some spoilers?
I guess we can get into spoilers, but like if you haven't watched this movie yet, like stop listening to us and go watch it.
Yeah,
and then
it's good.
Start replaying, because I think this is an excellent movie. This might be maybe my favorite movie this year so far. It's on par with Warfare.
Yeah, all right.
I really am looking forward to. I will probably watch this again in the cinema just to capture that. I think this is kind of like a cinema movie. You need to be in a dark room. I might try to find like a Nova session where there's a bit more people.
Yeah. Try to watch it on a rainy day.
Share.
I think that's a good.
I did watch it on a rainy day. It was fucking rain. It was fucking cold when I went to go watch it at High Point. Yeah. But no, I think this is an excellent film. It's a win for Australian cinema, and it's a win for horror cinema as well.
Well, I heard Dangerous Animals might be okay as well. So.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for that.
Looks pretty fun.
I'm a little bit curious about
I have a soft spot for Jai Courtney.
You do. The premise is kind of funny, just like using sharks to kill your victims is interesting. Yeah.
All right, let's do some spoilers for Bring Her Back. So Sally Hawkins's character, what's her name again? Laura. I guess her plot is to use Piper as a vessel to bring back her deceased daughter, Kathy. So what she has to do is she has to summon a demon into Oliver, who is a child that she kidnapped, basically, and then kill Piper in the same way that Kathy died, so drowning Piper in the pool. And then the demon Oliver has to eat Piper, and that will put Kathy's spirit back into.
No, he has to eat Kathy's.
Oh yeah, he eats Kathy first. Yeah, and then he vomits it into Piper or something.
Yeah. That's fast when you just think about saying it.
Yeah,
just like a lot of the way that this information is told is through a series of very cursed footage style,
well-edited VHS tapes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I actually didn't think about that. It is kind of maybe a bit of a flaw.
Yeah,
but I guess it's more like
it's fine. It's cinematic enough.
It's fine. But yeah, I think this is what I was talking about. Like some of the creature designs is that a lot of the people that are shown doing that in the cult are quite creepy because they look like people.
Yeah.
I mean, they are people, but they're just bloodied and
it's the way that it's filmed
doing,
as well.
Yeah.
It's like that, that VHS style. You can't really tell if their eyes are black or if that's just the way that it's shot.
But speaking of the demon, and I guess we haven't really talked about special effects that much, but a lot of it is with Ollie because he is essentially being possessed by this demon.
And
I think
he gets more fucked up as time goes throughout the movie. So when you're first introduced to him, he's weird, but he looks normal at least.
Yeah.
But then there's a turning point in a scene between Andy and Ollie, where essentially, they're kind of bonding, and then Andy gives Ollie a piece of fruit that's just stuck on a kitchen knife, and then he turns away for Ollie for a sec, turns back, and Ollie is like just munching on the knife. Like, just really getting it into there. Yeah, that is hard to watch.
And it was that was the actor performing it.
Yeah.
I think the Philippou brothers were talking to the actor, and they said like, look, you don't have to do this because we can get a stand-in actor to do it for you. So you're not going to get traumatized. But the kid's like, nah, I want to do it.
Yeah.
This is probably a little bit of like persuasive. They probably really did want to get him to do it, but you know, you got to be convincing when you're a director. You gotta,
Well, I mean, I reckon like is the actor Australian? Jonah Wren Phillips?
Yeah, he's Australian.
Yeah, I reckon an Aussie kid at that age would have been well into it. You know, like you watch the Raka Raka videos from back in the day. They're all like little punk ass kids from the neighborhood.
I think Michael and Danny have that energy and probably have the I guess the lingo to talk with kids, and I think they're used to it as well. So
well, I mean, it's a good shot. Like you full on see Ollie just really chowing down on that knife, and it's super uncomfortable to watch.
Well, I mean, even their parents were quite chill about it. I think in one of the interviews, they said that Sora's dad and Jonah's dad, they did like a selfie together, and it's just them at the premiere, and they're just like doing like a yelling, like screaming face doing a selfie. And they're just like not very serious at all. So they're obviously like very like more than happy for their children to be in this movie. And they're going to be known for a while. I'm not sure if they're going to break out in the big leagues, but this is something that will probably stay with them for, I guess, the rest of their lives in a good way. Hopefully, not like in the Anakin Skywalker way.
But no, I mean, they did a really good job. So that's kind of the turning point where Ollie starts to become a bit more grotesque looking and more of the body horror elements start creeping into that character. Like his head becomes really bulbous and he like his stomach as well like expands. And
that's gross.
He just becomes very
just like, ooh.
Imp-like.
That one got me. Like I think the marquee one would probably be the knife, and there's a bit where he rips off a bit of flesh from himself. Yeah. And that was really cool. And he like eats part of himself. But watching him with that big bulbous stomach and walking around somehow like really grossed me out because I'm thinking just about all the stuff that is just in his stomach. Because he eats like a table, he eats wood, and he's just like chewing everything.
At least one chicken is in there.
At least one
bunch of milk.
Yeah,
it's all slushing around in there. Did you find it gratuitous at all?
No, not for me.
Okay.
I want to be a bit creeped out and distressed, you know. So
the knife is a really good scene, but don't really know why he's eating the knife, you know? Like I get that he's kind of possessed. He doesn't really know what he's doing, but I don't know. I don't know if there was a valid enough explanation for him to self-mutilate like that.
Well, he was just chewing on the fruit, and he was just ravenous, right? So he was trying to eat the fruit, but then just started chewing on the knife.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, why is he chewing on a table and eating a table?
Yeah, that's also true.
So he's just.
I guess he's just hungry. He's just trying to eat something. Yeah. Right.
I think that's why, like, a lot of the movie is just Sally telling the demon to wait. Like, you gotta wait, but I think the demon can't contain its hunger, so it just has to eat. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really question that. I just thought, it's pretty cool special effect. But speaking of, Sally Hawkins as the very fucking friendly, creepy ass Australian lady.
Yeah.
I think the most transgressive thing that she does is, well, I mean, there's a plot point where Andy. Well, I mean, we haven't even mentioned, but the reason that they're going to stay with Laura is because they're now foster kids because their dad had an accident in the shower and passed away. So now they need to stay with her. But Andy's a little bit haunted by the image of his dad dead in the shower.
Yeah.
So when he wakes up in the morning, he like wets the bed. And I thought that's weird. Like, you know, you can go through a lot of grief, but that's weird. But you find out that it's Laura who's been pissing in a cup and then just splashing it on his crotch. I'm like, that's gross.
Unnecessary as well.
That's gross. Well, she's trying to
make him.
She's obviously trying to build the case.
Yeah. She's trying to make him look bad, I guess.
So she can just have Piper for herself.
Yeah, I mean, but she does go a bit far. Like, there's a point where they're at their dad's funeral, right? And she tries to make him kiss his dad, and that there's no real reason for that either. Like she doesn't.
Oh, she's trying to traumatize him.
Yeah, I guess so.
You don't do that. It's obviously not customary to kiss your dead dads in the lip. So she's just trying to, like, she's a psychologist. She full well knows that that's gonna fuck him up even more. Like you just don't do that. You know.
And actually, that made me think. She takes the dad's hair at that point as well, and then she ends up feeding that hair to Ollie. Why does she do that?
I wonder. It sort of keeps him alive a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there's points in the movie where Ollie sort of connects with Piper and Andy through like other voices, or he can be somewhat of a conduit. Because there is a scene where Andy sees his father's reflection in the shower, but I wasn't sure. I think it was confirmed, but there's a very slight shot that it cuts to Oliver instead of the dad.
Okay.
So it's somewhat, it's that talk to me lore where Ollie
he's channeling
is essentially
the
hand. He's channeling the spirits. Yeah. So he's the one that says like she will die in the rain,
right?
Kind of.
Because there's also a point where like Andy is killed at the end of the film, and then
I guess we can talk about
but then after that, Piper hears Andy's voice, and it turns out to be Ollie. So he's definitely channeling some spirits, which makes sense, I guess, with what's happening.
I feel so bad for Andy, man. He's like not a perfect guy, but brother of the year. Just like you just want him so bad to
win,
just to win and stay. So it was so like devastating because what happens is Laura has almost convinced the police that Andy's lost his shit.
Yeah.
But Andy sort of realizes, I mean, he finds like a poster of, I forgot Connor. Connor's the Oliver's real name, that Connor's a missing kid.
Yeah.
And then he tries to convince the welfare, not the welfare lady, what do you call those people? The person that connects other people with other foster people.
Caseworker.
Yeah. Fuck it out. It's late, all right. She gets the caseworker Wendy to come over, and that's where there's actually quite a funny montage of Sally cleaning up the area because Ollie in demon form has fucked up the house.
Yeah, and Andy, like an idiot, tries to call Piper on the way to Laura's house, and Laura is listening to the message on Piper's phone. So she gets the heads up that Andy and Wendy are on the way to bust her. So she does a bit of spring cleaning and manages to clean up the place before they get there.
They play a funny song here as well.
Yeah, they do.
I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know.
Is it the Veronica's song?
No,
or is it a different one?
No, it's not the Veronica. The Veronica song comes on when Ollie's losing his shit and.
Good music choices, man.
But yes, when Wendy and Andy get to the house, and Laura is taking Wendy around the house to show her that there's nothing amiss, and she almost gets away with it. But then Andy, he opens the shed door and sees Ollie is like eating the corpse of Kathy.
Kathy's frozen corpse.
Yeah.
Which is that was fucked as well when you discover that. It's like, damn, that's some messed up, like spooky ass shit.
Yeah. So he ends up calling Wendy, and at the same time, Wendy
notices that because Sally,
Laura
had a scuffle with Oliver, and like Oliver took a chunk out of her head or something.
Yeah,
he's like, "You're bleeding," and it's like,
and then Laura full on loses her shit.
So just loses. So they can break her back. And he's like, "Get off me!" And then she goes, and then they're about to. You think that is one, but then obviously Laura just runs them both over with a car, where Wendy is basically mashed potato.
Yeah,
but Andy is still alive, but then she just drowns him in the pool, and you can just tell when the music starts playing that like, nah, he's dead. Yeah. This is like, I felt so bad because he's just like he's trying so hard to just like stay with his sister, and that's just such a nice. That's just such a nice story.
Yeah.
And I was so sad as well.
And it's extra mean as well. Like if he had been killed instantly by the car, it would have been less mean. But the fact that he's still alive enough to be drowned in a puddle it's just that extra layer of meanness to it. That's like, it's a real gut punch when that happens.
It is a massive gut punch. And I think that is a pretty bold move because I know that there was probably a studio note. Maybe it's like, do you think he could be alive somehow? Which I kind of almost want that because I really want that. I really wanted Andy to pull through.
Yeah.
But his arc is complete, but he is unfortunately dead. And yeah, it was sad. So you're just thinking like, how the hell is Piper gonna get out of this? And this is, you said where she hears Andy's voice and she kind of comes across. I think Oliver has been eating Andy because she starts touching him, right? And he seems a bit more fucked up than he was after the car hit him.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe how there was somewhat of the conduit, like she was able to talk to him because I think the demon, even though it just fucking eats everything, it seems to be able to be conduit when it's eaten somewhat of the remains. That's how Andy heard his dad, and it's how Piper heard Andy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
to Oliver.
That does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably why Laura fed Ollie that hair so that he could mess with Andy a bit. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That tracks. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in this movie that it's kind of like blink if you miss because apparently Andy is he's being drugged by Laura, right?
Yes. So he's a gym bro, so he uses creatine. But I think she's lacing his creatine with something. Because like when they're on the way to bust her, she's like flushing the creatine down the sink.
But I didn't even really notice that. Like why? Because there's a bit where she's testing if he's awake. And like no one falls asleep like that. Like I'm a deep sleeper, but I will wake up if you're shaking me. But then it's like,
if somebody
like
pours
all that shit.
A bucket of piss on you,
if somebody pours a bucket of piss on me, I think I'm going to notice, you know? Yeah.
Oh, when she punches Piper in her sleep, that's brutal.
That's brutal. That's pretty.
That's like the biggest jump scare in the movie.
I think so. You're right. I forgot about that. It's like, damn, man. Like, yes.
It's just a punch. It's just a big punch. But it's like so shocking.
It was like a fist. It's like a fist.
It's a hammer fist. Is what it down.
Yeah, like a bit of a crunch when it comes in.
Brutal. That's what I mean, man. This movie it's hard to watch, and I think that might make it less accessible than Talk to Me. You know, it definitely makes it less accessible than Talk to Me, but at the same time, it makes it better. I think. Yeah,
I think it's a good. I think I haven't really seen anyone say anything negative about this film, and it's been sort of talked. It's been very well received amongst people that have seen it.
Yeah, but I think it's just filmies that are watching it though. I don't know if it.
Yeah, maybe
if it drew the same crowd as Talk to Me. I wonder what the numbers are like. Let me do a quick Google. Keep going. Keep talking.
Yeah, like, because I know Charlie talked about it and he's like, yeah, it's a banger. Like, go watch it. And whenever that guy talks about a movie and it says it's good, you know that there's got to be somewhat of a flock of people on the internet talk about it.
Okay. So yeah, it's doing slightly less numbers than Talk to Me. Talk to Me was 10.4 million in its opening weekend. Bring Her Back is currently at 8.1.
Yeah. I think, this movie might be less accessible because it is very heavy and it's not as fun.
The marketing was definitely less fun as well than Talk to Me.
Yeah. Because you mentioned to me that you weren't really that interested in watching this movie at first.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer. I thought a lot of the imagery looked really cool, and I was very intrigued when I saw the trailer to this movie.
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch it, but you mentioned that it didn't really grab you. In a sense.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't have like that marquee image like Talk to Me did. You know, the hand is quite impactful, whereas this, you know, it's just a bunch of demons worshipping stuff.
There's the bit where Sally Hawkins is drawing the blood in the window. That's like the poster, right? Yeah. I thought that looked really cool. Like what the hell is this bitch doing, you know? Like it's quite crazy. Yeah.
It's all right. But like I said, I wasn't really surprised by anything that happened in this movie. I think the trailer is a pretty good representation of what the movie is. But I guess the main thing that surprised me is the level of craft, I guess, that went into this film.
Yeah. I think the thing that surprised me was the emotional pull that this film had. So I was quite sad. I was like, oh man.
But I was prepped for that as well, because all the reviews are that, Tubby. All the reviews are like, yeah.
Yeah. Exploration, a deep exploration of grief.
Yeah, which it is.
Now,
but, it's not the only horror film that's a deep exploration of grief.
I will talk about the one thing that I didn't like about this movie, or that I think lets it down. Maybe you might have the same sentiment. It's sort of conflicting because, like, I think it's good that it happened, but it makes it fall off a bit short. It's sort of the ending.
Piper surviving.
Because Laura is drowning. She's drowning Piper, right? And
she's about to achieve her goal.
It's this really tense struggle because I want Piper so bad to just get out of there and get rescued. And she does. So thank God for that,
Yeah.
But it's just the way that scene happened, because she's about to achieve her goals, as you say, and she's kind of drowning Piper in a very, I guess, I don't know, biblical John the Baptist sort of way.
Yeah.
But then Piper says mama to Laura, and I don't know if that was trying to suggest if Laura was hallucinating or if Piper is being smart and just calling her mama, because of that one scene where Laura says, are you going to call me mama one day? And Piper says, maybe. But it kind of catches Laura off guard, and then she figures that she can't go through with it anymore.
She's reminded that good mums don't drown their daughters in a pool. Yeah.
I feel like Laura has already gone far beyond the point of redemption.
It's kind of like the save Martha of this movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's basically, why did you say that name?
Yeah.
It is a save Martha situation. It is backed up by a much better movie. But I'm glad that it happened, because if this movie had a bad ending, it would be like, I like this movie, but I never want to see it again territory. And it's just like that. I think if Piper was to die and she got, what Laura got what she wanted, I think it would have been too much. Even though this movie is not that long, I think maybe it's because the older me, like I want to see them, like I want to see her be happy.
Yeah, losing
and she's
Andy
not really going to be
was
happy.
hard enough.
She's already lost Andy, because the last shot of Piper is her listening to that very heartfelt message, and just a tear drop, and then that's the last you see. So it's not really happy. It's kind of like bittersweet.
And even Laura's character, she ends up like drowning herself in the pool with the corpse of her daughter. So that's not a happy ending either.
It's not happy for anyone. But it's
happy for Connor. Connor gets rescued.
Luckily, I thought Connor was going to die or something. That kid's body has been through a lot of shit. Lucky that he didn't die. But I think that's probably the only thing that was a bit weak, I think, is I wonder if the Philippous had something even grimmer.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll give the studio note this one bit of credit where it's like, it's probably too much if you kill Piper.
It might have been too much. But at the same time, they could have probably thought of a better way for Piper to get out of that situation. Her options were limited, so maybe they just got written into a corner. But I think you're right. I think like Piper getting killed would have been a bridge too far.
It would have been too much. It would have been one of those movies where it's like, I really acknowledge that this is a great test of filmmaking and it's great, but I just can't watch this again.
It would have been Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil levels of grim.
Yeah. I think there are some films that do it really well, the grim ending. Like, I Saw the Devil does it really well, where I've seen that movie multiple times. But there's a number of films that have had bad endings, but it's kind of has been worked in quite well that I would want to watch this movie again. And I do want to watch this movie again. Like I said, I'll probably catch it again at some point.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the ending. It was just fumbled a little bit. But I think the rest of the movie is just really like fantastic. There's so much dread in this movie. And even though we've talked about some of the violent stuff, there's not it's not as high impact as maybe we have led most of you to believe.
Nah, it is. It's pretty high impact. I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of
I don't know.
Ollie like biting people, and they don't really shy away from it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, all right.
I think people will be all right. But it's just a good story. Like really a good story that doesn't feel super, I guess, wanky either. It doesn't feel like there was very much self-indulgence in this movie, which I actually like in films. But I think in terms of its accessibility, people could watch it because it doesn't feel like it's an art house movie. This one feels more A24 than maybe Talk to Me did.
Yeah.
It's got that kind of like deep themes and
Well, Talk to Me wasn't developed by A24, right? It was just distributed.
No, it was A24, wasn't it? Or was it developed?
I think they bought it after the fact, after it was made.
Oh, yeah, you might be right, actually.
Because I think right.
Yeah, because I think they mentioned that no one was buying the film, but then A24 bought it. Yeah, maybe. We could be wrong. Anyone can write it.
I'm not fact checking it. It's fine. But no, yeah, I think you're right. I think it does feel quite art house, but in a accessible way. And just really good filmmaking, really good performances as well, really good music and sound design in general. Yeah, can't really fault it, but at the same time, it's not an easy watch. I will say that. I'm not in a rush to watch it again, to be honest. But I'm glad I did watch it.
Too much for you, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you got to be in a mood to watch this kind of movie.
Definitely catch this in the cinema while you can, because I think it adds a lot. Yeah. I was very kind of distraught that this wasn't on a extreme screen showing. Unfortunately, that was all been overtaken by the Karate Kid Legends showings and the Lilo and Stitch live action remakes. Two movies that you probably don't need to watch on a big screen. Yeah,
probably.
It doesn't really matter.
We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know. I mean, we were gonna cover Karate Kid Legends, but then we heard that it was a very mid movie.
I got no time for mid movies. I would have watched it if it was either bad or great, but no time for mid. Sorry, Ralph Macchio. Sorry, Jackie Chan.
Sorry, Ben Wang.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Asians. That's what I was gonna say.
It's an Asian actor in this film, Tommy. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. There you go. This is the one exception. This is the one,
Yeah. All right. Well,
I should say that nobody cares about Asian males then. That makes more sense then.
I mean, our numbers are a clear indication of that, Tommy. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this movie, right, Tommy? But I mean, what did you think of this movie if you've seen it? Did you prefer this over Talk to Me? Are you stoked to see more from the Philippou brothers? Let us know. You can get in touch with us at twoasianblokes@gmail.com. You can join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation, or you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok to see what we're up to. I forgot to mention, should have mentioned this up top, but if you like spooky stuff, maybe check out our YouTube channel for last week's episode that would have been missing from Spotify and Apple Podcasts, because it was a video game let's play of a spooky game.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, so go watch it.
Yeah, we have. Oh yeah, that's right. It hasn't even been finished editing yet.
Hey.
No, it's finished.
Okay. All right. We'll go watch it. It's probably out. But yeah, until next time. We'll see you later, guys.
Alrighty. We'll see you later, guys. Take care. All right, let's
What about me?
It isn't fair. I've had enough of my share. Can't you see? I want to leave.
Shannon, no. Didn't he punch a guy?
I think he did.
I think he punched the guy.
It seems like the guy.
Yeah.